3, 2, 1. Just kidding. How's it going, everyone? You're watching Ash on Comics. My name is Ash, and it's Storytime Live. We are doing... What are we doing? We're doing Spider-Man. Amazing Spider-Man. Marvel Masterworks, Volume 9. Brought to you by our channel sponsor, The Real Dr. Venkman. Accept no substitutions. If you have a medical issue, see Dr. Venkman. He can't help you, but he'll make you feel better anyway. Also, beverage sponsor tonight is Heineken. Beer. You can drink it. Tastes pretty good. It's not too expensive. And it's better than most of the piss beer made in America by the big brewer companies. It's better than Budweiser. Not as good as Stella. But what are you going to do? Man. Hope you guys are having a good night. Tonight is Thursday. What do you guys normally do on Thursday night? Oh, you listen to Ash on Comics. That's why you're here. Melissa is first in the house. Good to see you, Melissa. RDV is second. He says he's ready. Let's go. That's exactly how he said it, too. I know, because I just made that up. Lord is third. I don't think Lord's ever been third before. Man, you're getting up there, Lord. Keep striving for those achievements. You might get there. It says another episode of The Menace Ash. Yeah, I am a menace. I'm a menace to YouTube and comics. Zach Richmond's here. Good to see you, Zach. Zach joined us on a stream a while back, but my senile old Biden-style memory can't remember what it was. Which one were you on, Zach? I can't remember what it was. Why am I forgetting? Marani is also in the house. Good to see you, Marani. She's been becoming a regular over the past several months. Tehillim is here. Tehillim is one of the longest viewers I've probably had. I'm struggling. If I go back to my original channel, my first handful of viewers, I don't remember who the oldest is. I was paying attention, but it kind of all bleeds together after a while. But Tehillim was one of them. I used to mispronounce his name all the time. Then he finally corrected me, and I was like, oh, I feel like a dumb shit. Let's see. Bronny says she's letting a pan of cornbread cool before I mix up and put a pan of brownies in the oven. Perfect accompaniment for this live stream. Cornbread and brownies. Can't say I've ever had that before, but I like them both. Sounds good. I had some cookies today. I don't know if you guys have in your neck of the woods a convenience store called AM/PM. I have a convenience store kind of popular in Southern California called AM/PM. And they have an app. Everyone's got an app these days. And they have this app. Every time you go to the AM/PM, you can check in, and then it gives you like a virtual scratcher, and you can scratch off and win stuff like a lottery ticket. Except you never win anything cool. But today, I won a free pack of fresh baked cookies. Little three pack. Normally it's $1. Today it was free. And then you get 25 cents off a fountain drink. So I walked in, got a fountain drink and a 3-pack of cookies, and it was like 80 cents. So I felt good. I say these stories to help you guys so you can survive this terrible socialist economy that's coming up. Save yourself some pennies. You're like, that doesn't do any good, Ash. We don't have AM/PM there. Anyways, the cookies were chocolate chip, and I remembered I was sitting there trying to choose which one should I get. They had oatmeal raisin. I was like, oh, oatmeal raisin, pretty good. And I had a conversation with Marania about cookies, and we were talking about how my favorite cookies were chocolate chip. I don't know why that just went through my head as I was getting them, and So I picked the chocolate chip, went to the register, and then at the register, they had a whole little tray of cookies, too. And I was like, oh, they had some flavors that they didn't have in the actual little bakery bin thing where they keep all the donuts and stuff like that. So I was like, oh. And one of the flavors was salted caramel chocolate chip. And then I really thought about Marani because I was like, she really likes salted caramel. And I was like, I don't know. Sometimes it's chocolate chip cookies. The more you mess with them, the more there's just something about a chocolate chip cookie that you just cook whatever the cookie kind you make the cookie, and then chocolate chips. When you start adding bizarro things to it and extra and try to gourmet, it doesn't work. So I was like, I don't know. I was like, I gotta try this, and they were pretty good. A little too much salted caramel, like it overpowered the cookie. But it was pretty interesting how I don't know how they did it, actually. They put caramel in the cookie dough, maybe, because you could see caramel, like, melted out of the side of the cookie. Because these are, like, fresh-baked cookies. Anyways, you guys don't care about that. But I ate them, and they're pretty tasty. But then afterwards, I was like, oh, it's just too much. That salted caramel, I was like, one of them, like, to taste it, be like, okay, it's fine. But it's too rich. That's my boring story of the day. See, I got to give you guys boring stories now so that when I read the comic, it makes it sound better. Because you're like, oh, God, finally a good story. That's all. It's all part of the trickery of this channel. Lord says, here are some diamonds and guts for my minion. I don't even know what the hell you're talking about. Well, we haven't heard Ash's arcade music yet. You didn't hear the music? Oh, maybe you did. This is before. I don't know. The chat music. I need to put timestamps in here so I know how old these chats are. Dragon Majesty has graced us with his presence. Good to see you, Dragon. Let's see. Who else? Oh, damn it. The chat. I hate when YouTube does this. I'm sitting here trying to scroll and read the chat and it just zips to the bottom. Who in their right mind designed it this way? Zach says, oh, I thought we were getting new music. Psych. But you don't like the old music? I like the old music. That's my jam. Let's see. My beverage is Pepsi. Zach agrees. This says Pepsi is good. Haven't had a Pepsi since 2004. Willpower mostly. Zach has got A&W root beer. I do like root beer. Lord says, you're nothing but a crook. Enjoy your moment of power because I can promise you it won't last. When you fall, he'll be the one standing over you. Who are you talking to? That was a pretty dramatic tweet, though. Or not tweet. You can see what's on my mind. Let's see. Ronnie says, but agreed, Pepsi is good. Prefer Stewart's root beer. Try it if you can find it. Zach, it's not nearly as sweet. Stewart's is okay, root beer. They're all right. I like the Stewart's orange creams. If I'm going to get a Stewart's, I'm going to get an orange cream. For root beer, my go-to is IBC. I've had a lot of gourmet root beers. Henry Weinhardt's makes a pretty good root beer and an orange cream if you can find them. But IBC is still the best, man. Chill them up until like as cold as possible. Drink them right out of the bottle. That's the best. Zach says, I was on stream on Jimmy's channel last night. Before that, I think there was a hangout stream you hosted that I was on. Oh yeah, my hangout is, or my, the Discord is open. Anyone wants to jump in that has access. You got to have access. You got to be a VIP. Let's see. No, I don't remember what it was. I know you've hung out in the Discord with us, but I think it was like a live stream that you were on. Because I remember you like thanked me for being. In fact, I just answered your comment. This is how bad my brain is. I just answered your comment on the YouTube. You were like, "Hey, thanks for having me on," and I was like, "Thanks for being there." But I was just paying attention to the comment. I didn't pay attention to which stream it was. I will keep an eye out for that root beer. Ronnie says, Zach, thanks for the tip. I do find A&W to be too sweet. Well, okay. RDV's here. Ed Brewer. What's going on, my Pink Floyd pal? Ed Brewer's in the house. RDV says, I got my Chinese food read. What? I got my Chinese food read? I don't even know what does that even mean? Pepper steak. All right. I miss going to the A&P, says Marania. That was kind of the stores that we went to when I was a kid. That Jumbo and ShopRite. I don't even... Man. There's a bunch of store names that I don't know. Lord says, you're fired. Get the hell out of my building. Close the door, says Lord. All right, well, I guess that's the show. It's over. I'm fired. You guys all tune into Lord's channel, and he's going to entertain you from now on. Oh, wait, no, he's not. Let's see. I guess I'm not fired after all. Brian says, glass bottles, yes, indeed. You need a church key to open them, as I recall. Use your phone for the chat, says RDV. Why would I use my phone for the chat? I got a big screen, and I can type in the chat, and I can scroll, and the phone makes it way more difficult, because then the screen always goes out, because it's got to, you know, save the battery. It's a pain in the ass. Pain in the ass. That's what millennials and Zoomers do. They use their phones because they don't know how to use computers. Let's see. Lord says, I'm role-playing as J. Jonah Jameson. I knew you were a LARPer. I knew it. Lord says, hi, Ash. Have no class for classic. For classic? What are you talking about? I'm reading a classic. I'm reading a Silver Age Spider-Man. No class for the classic. Melissa says, Spider-Man used to be good till one more day happened. Well, he's still good. Oh, you mean the writing on Spider-Man used to be good. Yeah, well, you know, Chip Zdarsky wrote a fucking hell of a story. That life story. That might be the best Spider-Man story I've ever read. So, yep, one more day was stupid. There's been a lot of bad writers on Spider-Man, but yeah, one more day. Maybe one more day, and I'll read Life Story on the. See how they? Oh, I blew that. It was a New Year's stream, Ash. Oh yeah, the New Year's stream. That was fun. So much fun, I forgot all about. I think I had 4 drinks that night. That's the most drinking I've done in as many years, at least. Let's see. Lord says, true, but you didn't pick up that I was using J. Jonah Jameson quotes. Well, J. Jonah Jameson doesn't have specific word. Like, how am I supposed to pick that up? Yeah. You just, whatever. I got a little bit of sniffle. Sniffing in the mic. So I'm making great radio on here. This is the new channel, ASMR with Ash, as you listen to him sniffle. Let's see. RDV says, I watch on PC. I usually use my phone to read chat comments when I'm on the stream. I don't lose track. Well, yeah, when you don't ever run the stream, though, RDV. There's a lot going on. You can just sit there and hold your phone. You're not going to lose track. But I don't, even then I still don't understand, because I can have the chat right next. You can make multiple windows on your computer screen. It's amazing. You've been able to do this since Windows 95. You can like take different windows and size them however you want, put them next to each other. So I have the chat right next. Anyways, you don't care. Keep your phone on a charger and you will not have any issues. My phone is on a charger and I do have issues. Specifically because I'm typing and doing things. I can't sit there in the chair and hold the phone. Freakazoid. Dragon Match Jesus says, Melissa's right. One more day must go. All right. Nick Spencer is currently slaying it on Spider-Man. Even Breen is enjoying it. This is fake news. I don't believe it. This is some sort of conspiracy. I don't buy it for 1 second. Artie says, what does running the stream have to do with keeping track of the comments? It's not rocket science. Well, I have to manage 5 different windows right here. So, yeah, actually, it is. And I have to read the chats and so forth. So, it's a little bit harder than it looks. This is why you don't actually do it. You just guest star and then let other people do the work and bitch and moan about how they don't do it good enough. Zach says, Ash always has issues. Issues of comics. Ash has issues. That's what the name of the show should be. RV says, get a computer desk. I have a computer desk. I'm sitting at a computer desk right now. What do you think the computer desk doesn't give me an extra hand? I don't understand. Ash is not a true Spider-Man fan. Why am I not a true Spider-Man fan? I'm the one who's actually donating 2 hours of my time to read you Spider-Man stories. I think that makes me kind of a fan, at least. I guess Ash has 1001 issues. But a bitch ain't one. Am I right? Yeah. I don't think that's how it goes, though. I think it's like 99 issues. But a bitch ain't one. Not 1001. I tried to make it work. You just have to look down at your phone on your desk instead of clicking on tabs. Yeah, I also have a mic in my face, and I'd have to put the phone somewhere, but I have a keyboard in front of me. I also have a drink that I want to be able to drink. Got to be able to. It's not. I don't understand how you think this is that it works like this. Besides, I have a window right in front of me that's bigger than my phone with all the text. Why do I still don't understand why I need a phone. Let's see. I think millennials just don't know how to live through life without their phone. That's my thing. Let's see. I can't forgive Nick Spencer for Nazi Hydra cap. Yeah, Nick, you Nazi cap Hydra thing. Lord's making cricket sounds. Apparently he's trying to attract a cricket mate. Dragon Match, he says, I have more issues than that, Lord. Thousands. RDV says, Ash is complicated. I am. I'm very complicated. I am definitely no simpleton. The Cap we know is a clone, just like Iron Man, and Spider-Man is a brainwave clone. All the Marvel characters are clones. All your Marvel characters were killed years ago. And you don't even, well, some of you know it, but it's one of those things. Gen X's are becoming boomers as they get closer to 50. I know public school sucks these days. That's not how generations work. You don't go from one generation to the next. It's not like you're going to be a Gen Xer one day, Venkman. You're always going to be a millennial. So I'm always going to be a Gen Xer. I'm never going to be a boomer. Jimmy's always going to be a Gen Zer. So Lord says, see, Ash, Dragon is a true fan. Why is Dragon a true fan? I don't understand. Because he's got issues? I got issues. I'm reading to you right now. I'm reading to you my issues of Spider-Man. This is crazy. Ash, be gentle with them. We don't want them to cry. All right. Let's get on to reading some comics. I think enough people are in here that are crying out for some Spider-Man. And I am here to deliver on that wish. But first, let's see what's going on in the world of comics. So I was looking through Comixology, as I want to do, because I'm always looking for comics. Have you guys ever heard of this series called Supreme Power? I just kind of ran across it, and it sounded really cool. This is how I found it, because they have the trade paperbacks, and then it's got J. Michael Straczynski in big, bold, red letters. And I was like, oh, I like J. Michael Straczynski. And it's about Hyperion. It's about the Squadron Supreme, I guess. But it's basically, it's like Marvel's take on if Marvel did Batman and Superman and all that stuff. How Marvel, that's kind of how this is. And it sounds like a cool story. It's got a 4-star rating. It's currently on sale. It's got Gary Frank art. So I was like, oh, maybe I should check this out. And there's three total volumes. But I've never read it. I'm just curious if anyone else has read these. They sound pretty cool. It's like basically Marvel Superman story. I don't know. I guess I'll wait for the delay and see if anyone has any comments. Oh, Dragon Master, he's already commented. He says, I'm a big Supreme Power fan. Oh, really? He says, it's good. All right, cool. Zach says, I'm a millennial, but I have a boomer mindset. Yeah, I have a boomer mindset. Well, do I have a boomer mindset? No, I think I have a Gen Xer mindset. I just have a boomer mind. This is the problem. My mindset is very Gen X, but my mind is very boomer. Let's see. It's all right. So maybe I should check out that Supreme. RDV, can you educate the class? Or Justin can. I don't know what that's all about. My son Jake is got a HeroClix of Mr. Majestic and Apollo, both Superman analogs. Yeah, they are. Peter was a super nerd. Was he? Was he a super nerd? I guess, yeah, I guess technically, by all definitions, he is. Oh, look, Marvel is having a Valkyrie sale. Just what you always wanted when you were like, I can't get enough of Valkyrie. Remember this book, As Guardians of the Galaxy? Remember when this just came and went nowhere because no one cared? It's so stupid. As Guardians of the Galaxy. Remember this cover? Look at this cover. I'm going to blow it up here. Oh, just look how stunning and brave that is. Look at that. And look at this guy holding this. What is that, a axe? I don't even know what the hell that is. He's just holding, like, that pose that he's in just looks so, there's no dynamicism there at all. And this is a good artist, too. This looks like Chung. But, of course, oh, look, Silly Billy Thor Frog is there. Got the women front and center because, they're the ones that are going to, they're the ones that are the real powers here. These men are just there for the ride. Yeah, this went nowhere. I have a Cullen Bunn. No wonder. Fear Itself. Oh, speaking of Nick Spencer, he's part of that. I never read Fear Itself. I've heard a lot about it. Still don't know if it's any good. Oh, look. Oh, we could read some Jason Aaron Thor. God, just look what he did with these covers. Oh, my God. I swear, this... You know how they talk about, like, certain things will put hair on your chest? I feel like reading Jason Aaron book. Like, you get this book, this takes hair off your chest. Like, it's all it's rainbows and this... Just put some... This book needs more unicorns. Maybe some My Little Pony thrown in. God, no wonder. Man, I feel sorry for boys today. Oh, look. Here's the Valkyrie, Jane Foster Valkyrie. Oh, look at her. She's so stunning and brave. Jane's future has never looked brighter. AV Club. Did you guys read this comic, AV Club? Because I read this comic. And it sucks. Even Jimmy, who is a Jason Aaron man whore. Or is it boy whore? I don't know. He's one of those things. Even he didn't like this. It's just fucking terrible. I can't believe you would read this book and be like, oh, this is the future of comics. Jane Foster's never looked better. Oh my God. Oh, look at this. As Guardians of the Galaxy, even crossover with War of the Realms, couldn't save the book because no one cared. And yeah, I guess that's it. Well, I should have known better than to go down this rabbit hole. There was pointless. What else is on sale? Darth Vader sale. So we need is more Darth Vader stories. DC Darkest Hours sale. Oh, Marvel Infinity Gauntlet sale. Are they doing something with the Infinity Stones or something? Oh, I can get Infinity Gauntlet for $339. I have this physically, packed away somewhere. But this would be a good book to. This is one of my favorite comics of all time. Such a good. I wish all events could be like the Infinity Gauntlet. No, I don't. I wish all events could be as good as the Infinity Gauntlet. I wish they would stop trying to be, because they're all trying to be the Infinity. Everything's world-shattering, multiverse-shattering events. Everything is that way. It's not even save the world anymore. Not save the galaxy. Not save the universe. We gotta save the multiverse. But yeah, this is all you need right here. It's all you need. That's cheap. Thanos Rising, Jason Aaron. I bet that sucks. Is there anything else interesting here? Whenever you see the red stripe on a Marvel comic, that's like, it's like Mother Nature, when they have like the yellow, red, and black stripes on the reptiles, like tell you like poison, like stay away, danger. That's what this is here on the Marvel books. When you see that red stripe, just run away. It's not what you want. Go find. These are not the comics you're looking for. Marvel Max sale. Oh yeah, that's why the Supreme Power. Oh yeah, look at what's on Marvel Max. All right, you guys gotta tell me if anything here stands out. Yeah, it's the Supreme Power. I have Havoc and Wolverine buried away somewhere, but $2.99 for this series is pretty good. Miracle Man. Some people have said this is the best thing Alan Moore's ever done. So I'm kind of curious. I've never read Miracle Man. Look at Alan Moore's disowned it. Now it just says original writer. Written by the original writer. He doesn't want his name associated with it. But this I've heard is amazing. I think Eric Breen was high on this. I've never read it. Some people aren't as fond, so I'm kind of curious. I like to hear multiple, different points of view. And let's see. Oh, look at all these Marvel Knights, Punishers, Garth Ennis and Steve Dillon, Tim Bradstreet covers. I would love to have had this collection. Yeah, more Miracle Man. Any of these standing out? Like, is there like something like, oh, Ash, that's the best book. You got to read that. That's what I'm looking for. Someone gave me a suggestion to read some Mike Barron Punisher. But I think he's done a couple of Punishers, hasn't he? I don't know which one exactly to get. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see. Definitely read Supreme Power. They were related miniseries too. It got rebooted as Squadron Supreme Volume. All right. Original Valkyrie was dope. Fun comics. Original Valkyrie or Jason Aaron, Jane Foster original Valkyrie? It was not dope. Not fun at all. It wasn't even fun to roast. Not like America. Squadron Supreme by Mike Grunwald still holds up in quality, art, and storytelling, says Dominic. Hey, how you doing, Dominic? I remember as Guardians of the Galaxy was trying to trade on the Thor traveling with the Guardians in the movies deal. Yeah, except they forgot to put Thor in it. They just put a bunch of losers. If you had as Guardians of the Galaxy and like Thor was a part of it, you'd be like, oh, okay. Nope. But a bunch of... You didn't even have Beta Ray Bill. So stupid. Lord says unicorn meat and guts. Yeah, there we go. That's what we need. Fear itself, Iron Man's part in it was quite good. I never investigated the rest, and the summaries in the Iron Man book I didn't need to. All right. Well, apparently it wasn't that good, Maranya, if you didn't want to explore the rest. The whole point of an event like that is to make you want to read more. I have not read Jane Foster Valkyrie, says Dominic. I decided not to read it because of the way Jane had been handled in the recent history. You're such a misogynist. Why? How do you live with yourself? You just hate women, don't you? You just don't like strong women. I can tell. I can always tell. You know how you tell easy? It's when they don't like any character that happens to be a woman. If you don't like every single woman implicitly, then you're a misogynist. Ash should just buy more early volumes of Spider-Man. Save the microverse next. There we go. Big Ant-Man event. I like Alias and the Marvel Max Punisher, says Dragon Majesty. I've heard good things about Alias, but it's Bendis, and so then I go, I've heard good things about Marvel Max Punisher, and it's Garth Ennis, and I go, yeah, because Garth Ennis is pretty cool. Deadpool Max is unbearably terrible art, but I read it. The fact that Punisher spun off from... Fun fact, Punisher spun off from Spider-Man. Technically, he first appeared in Spider-Man, but I think it was his Daredevil stuff that really made him like a fan favorite. He was kind of too like one-dimensional in Spider-Man, and then he got into Daredevil, and the rest is history. It's kind of like a Kingpin. Kingpin was originally Spider-Man too, but he became the classic iconic character we love through Daredevil. Let's see. Ash, I am selling the Marvel Max Punisher books in the auction, 36 through 40 and 43 through 51. Well, where's 41 and 42? What's up with that? Lord says, read Miracle Man. Melissa says, I recommend Punisher Max. It's cool as hell, and Nick Fury Max and Wolverine Max are super badass and full of gore and violence and adult themes and cussing. Well, I don't necessarily want my comic characters gory and cussing. I'm not sure why that's a positive for a lot of people. And I'm not taking a dig on you, Melissa, but it's more of just the thing that you made me think of, because I know there's a lot of people that really want to see their comic characters all like dark and R-rated. And this really applies like to the movies, right? How they're like, oh, we need to make the next Batman movie R-rated. And I'm like, why? Why? Is it somehow when you're reading Batman and you're like, oh, the movies just aren't cutting it because the comics are so R, like, no, I don't, for me, I don't need it. Some characters, I think Daredevil worked being R-rated, or not Daredevil, Deadpool worked for being R-rated because you could do some of the crass humor that he's kind of about, but honestly, I kind of prefer my comics PG-13. I think the actual comic books try too hard as it is. I hate seeing all the little symbols to show that the character's cussing. Like, look at our character's cussing. Aren't we grown up? No, it stands out like a sore thumb to me. Also, I'm kind of one of those guys. I think it's. No, I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole. I recommend. Okay, we already covered that. Anyways, I'm just curious. Some people have different tastes. Skip and Tosh is in the house. What's up, Skip? He says he grabbed me some comic today from Comixology. What'd you get? I hate when the heroes jokes and I hate when heroes jokes when fighting for some reason. All modern superhero comics like that. You know, I kind of agree with you. Spider-Man, that was always kind of his thing, so I didn't mind it. That's kind of what I fell in love with Spider-Man. But back in the 80s, like, he was the only one who did it. And nowadays, it's like everyone's trying to be Bendis, and every hero is like quippy and one-liner and like, oh, but and it drives me fucking bananas. And I really hate when they kind of talk to themselves. I just read that new Star Wars book from the High Republic. And this is like this modern writing trope. It's difficult to discuss here without the book to go over, but where the characters sort of like, they talk out loud and then they talk under their breath to themselves. And it's supposed to be like funny and quippy. And I'm just like, why does everyone do this? And it's so out of place in Star Wars because it's so like poignant to like pop culture today. You know, it's like, you shouldn't do that in Star Wars. You shouldn't date it to like real society. That's why you can go back and watch the original trilogy today. Luke didn't act like a kid from the 70s when the movie was made. So it doesn't feel dated. But the modern Star Wars stuff feels like, oh, look, all the kids, they have shaved heads like today. You know, oh, God, the main character has a half-shaved head. It's like, oh, I mean, it'd be like the equivalent of putting like bell bottoms or something, you know? That used to be the thing when I was growing up as a kid that dated the 70s was bell bottoms. We used to make fun of it growing up. But like, just leave that stuff out. I admit to missing the comics code in some regards. Back in the day, the companies actually had to be creative, work around its limitations. These days, they have no limits, and it's just junk on the page. Yeah, a lot of people are like, oh, good riddance to the comics code. And I'm like, why? I understand why Stan kind of bypassed the comics code because he wanted to tell that story about drugs. And the comics code was like, you can't tell this. And that was a negative aspect of the comics code. But the positive aspect of the comics code was so that you didn't have a bunch of degenerate stories and stuff. And I think nowadays a lot of modern people are like, screw the comics code because they want to tell stories about really disgusting stuff that I'm not going to go into here. Punisher should always be R-rated. I don't know if I think that. I mean, it's not R-rated in the comics. Why does he need to be R-rated? And, you know, that's kind of the way I think about it. Let's see. I also paid way too much for that Ice Cream Man 21 Dr. Manhattan variant. I had to have it. It's a skip. Oh, I got to see this. You got to, oh man, we're going to look at some pictures later. Ice Cream Man 2 and 4, Brubaker and Darwin Cook Catwoman. Wait, Brubaker and Darwin Cook did a Catwoman together? Am I reading that right? Let's see. Yeah. The reason I prefer the original EU over Disney Star Wars is we get to see Luke's descendants and their fight against the dark side and the Sith, says Melissa. Okay. I don't like Luke's descendants. I think Luke marrying the Emperor's right hand is the dumbest thing ever. And the fact that she turned out to be a Jedi was next dumbest thing ever. And she's got a purple lightsaber, so that was triple dumb. And of course they have kids who grow up to save the guy. It's just so, God, it's just so fanficky. And I think the way Lucas wrote the story is the whole thing was like Luke was supposed to be the hero, the stoic, not the stoic, but sort of the hero sacrifice. His part of the story was that he doesn't get the girl. That's the thing. Leia is the other side, and she gets to have the love story, and then Han Solo, you get that aspect. So as a fan of the stories, you get to have your cake and eat it too. What I don't like is when you try to give every character the same things. Every character has to have the happy ever after ending. They have to get married. Like, it's just, no, they don't. You don't have to treat. This was my problem with the superhero movies, where like every single superhero movie, they got to put the love interest character in there. I'm like, is there possible we can just have a superhero movie and the superhero is doing superhero stuff and doesn't have a love interest? Or do we just need to do that every single time? Like, that was the problem with Thor. They couldn't we got to find a way to have Thor. It's like they followed that. I never liked. I thought Mara Jade was an interesting character, As soon as her and Luke hooked up, I was like, nah. Plus, Luke was like tempted by the dark side, and the whole point, like the Jedi are supposed to be more like monks. They don't get into relationships really, and for me, I was like, I think Luke is more admirable to me if he makes that sacrifice for the good of the galaxy. Like and it's also a bit of a tragedy because you do want to see him have a happy life, but that was me. I don't know. Bad girl meet good boy and fall in love. No. They don't get the same thing. Luke and Mara have one kid while Han and Leia have 3. Well, the point is they get to meet their love and live happily ever after thing, and then, of course, still have adventures. Non-stop. Adventures after adventures after adventures. I can't even count how many times Luke has saved the galaxy at this point. I prefer... To me, it's more impactful if Luke's story ends at Return of the Jedi. Make new characters. I don't like when you take the same character and you run them into the ground and then you just do a million stories, which is weird because I'm a comics fan. How many times has Spider-Man saved, I get it, but it's a little different. Luke saved the galaxy. To me, there's nothing more you can do with Luke after Return of the Jedi other than to give him the Obi-Wan story. Other than if you can use him as a supporting character like Obi-Wan was used in the first movie to teach Luke, you could use Luke to do a similar thing. I think that works. But as far as doing adventures, his story is wrapped up at Return of the Jedi, in my opinion. I just don't want to see more. I think it dilutes the overall thing. And you can make new characters. That's great. Do that. Dragon Majesty says, I always thought Yoda should have a yellow lightsaber, not Rey. I thought no one should have a yellow lightsaber because there are no yellow lightsabers. I also think Yoda should not have had a lightsaber, period. If you go back and watch the original trilogy, Yoda makes fun of Luke for having weapons. Yoda struck me as, if you go back and watch old school kung fu movies, how like the old, super old, wise kung fu master that lives in the remote temple that the hero goes and visits. They did this in Kill Bill. They kind of did this trope. They're so advanced. There's such a mastery of kung fu. They don't ever use a weapon. They don't need a weapon. I thought Yoda should have been like that. He's so badass at the Force. He's so enlightened that he doesn't resort to weapons and violence. Conversely, his opposite, the Emperor, I thought it was dumb when they gave him a lightsaber in the prequels. I was like, one of the things that was so awesome about Emperor in the original movies, you saw Vader fight Obi-Wan, fight Luke with a lightsaber, and you're like, oh, damn. And then that third movie, you saw the Emperor, and you had never seen him use the Force or anything. He's just sitting in a chair, and he's like, he's just this evil guy. But you didn't see him doing it. And when he just whips out lightning powers, and you're like, this dude doesn't even need a lightsaber. Holy crap. It was way more impactful. Then you go back and watch the prequels, and he's using a lightsaber and spinning around like some fighting video game. I'm just like, what is this? This is silly. But that one scene though, where he does use the lightning on Yoda, and then Yoda like holds it back with his hand. That was cool. That's the conflict that I would have seen between those two. Why are there blue, green, and red lightsabers, says RDV? Sounds retarded. So it's no big deal if someone has a purple lightsaber. Well, it's a funny thing you should ask that, RDV. Blue, green, and red are the primary colors of light. So that would be one explanation why there's blue, red, and green. The other reason, originally there wasn't even going to be green. It was just blue and red because Lucas tells story. A lot of the things that you see in Star Wars aren't there for some sort of scientific reason or anything. It's there for visual storytelling purposes. Very much like the philosophy of old Westerns where the good guy wore a white hat and the bad guy wore a black hat. And so you can subconsciously, instinctually understand That was the whole purpose. The dark Jedi, or the Sith, if you will, they had the red lightsabers. It was a sense, it looked more menacing and evil. Blue is a more pure color, so the good guys had the blue lightsabers. That was it. That was why Lucas did that. There was no thoughts of like, different color kyber crystals and blah, 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 blah. No, nothing. Then as far as there's no yellow lightsabers or anything else, well, when he does the prequel movies and you get to see hundreds of Jedi all with their lightsabers and not a single one has a yellow one, and they're all fighting in that battle in the war, you go, this is like all the Jedi here, pretty much, except maybe a couple remote ones off who knows where. Like, there's no yellow. That pretty much confirms to me that there aren't yellow. And the only reason there's a purple one, the only reason is because when Lucas came to Samuel Jackson, or did Samuel Jackson come to Lucas? I don't actually remember that part. Either way, when they were in negotiations to have Samuel Jackson be in the movie, Samuel went to Lucas personally and said, hey, can I have a purple lightsaber? And Lucas thought about it and said, sure. And that was it. So there was no thought creation. Now, me as a wannabe writer, I've always thought, man, there should be some significance to that because it's the only one you see. And I would be writing some sort of story background as to why that blade is purple, why Mace Windu had it. But instead, they just now, have video games and tons of people have purple lightsabers and everything just gets copied and blah, 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 blah. Pai Mei from Kill Bill is my spirit animal. So Skip, yeah, I love Pai Mei. Man, I sense a little bit of Pai Mei in the Master in Firepower. I love the Emperor with the lightsaber in Revenge of the Sith, said Dragon Majesty. All right, to each their own. I didn't like it. You can have plenty of other characters with lightsabers, but you can't have. Once you give Yoda and the Emperor a lightsaber, you can't take it back. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's so weird to me after watching Empire Strikes Back, well, the whole saga for like 20 years. Was it 20 years? Yeah, 20 years. I mean, I grew up on Star Wars. Star Wars is like my life. And then finally the prequels come out, and I watch those prequels, and I see Yoda using a lightsaber and everything, and I'm like, what? And then I go back and I watch him. It just doesn't make sense to me. I'm like, wait a second. This is the same Yoda that just 2 movies ago was zipping around like freaking, what is that guy from the Looney Tunes? The Tasmanian Devil. He's like, bouncing around. And then when Lucas shows up on Dagobah, he's like, weapons? You're stupid. You have weapons. Like I don't buy it. I prefer more that Yoda is so awesome he doesn't need weapons. I think giving him a weapon you're thinking you're going to make it look cool on screen, but if you want something to look cool on screen, just have another character. I think all of the battles where Yoda's whipping around with a lightsaber, I would have put Mace Windu instead. Mace Windu did not get enough screen time. I want to see Mace Windu have that battle with the Emperor. I thought Yoda felt ham-fisted in there. Like, oh, everyone likes Yoda. Let's put him in more scenes. And it's like, no, make Yoda more mysterious. Have him just be the one never using lightsabers, constantly telling people, like, what are you doing? Like, why are you relying on this stuff? And then at the end of the whole saga, you're like, yeah, Yoda was the only one who knew anything. He's the wise one. I don't know why I'm getting this big Yoda talk. Let's go read some comic books. Dun, 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 dun. Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. Spins a web any size. Catches thieves just like flies. Amen. Here comes a Spider-Man. This is issue 84 of The Amazing Spider-Man, where the Kingpin strikes back. By Stan Lee with John Romita Sr. He didn't even have Sr. in his name back then. He was just John Romita. And John Buscema and Jim Moody. We see Spider-Man kicking back in his Little makeshift hammock that he makes with the spider webs. That's pretty cool. I wish you'd see artists do this sort of stuff more. Reading the newspaper. $5,000 reward, says the headline. It's a good thing I didn't capture the schemer when last we fought. There wasn't any reward for him then. But now, man, could I ever use that $5,000? I wonder who's offering the reward. It doesn't mention the police. The only address is a post office box. Well, who cares where the dough is coming from, as long as Spidey's the one to get it. A bus stuck in the snow. He'll never get himself out that way. Somebody go for the cops, quick! Spider-Man's trying to hijack the bus! Simmer down, bird brain. I was only trying to help. When will I learn to mind my own business? If I stopped a forest fire, they'd find me from being in the woods without a license. I'd better stick to finding the schemer. Webhead bad, am I right? Am I right? I'll begin by questioning some of the punks around town. Hold it, chum. I want to talk to you. Hey, what? I'm looking for the schemer. So, how'd you like to help your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man? What are you, some kind of nut? I'm looking for him too. Oh no, a cop. On decoy duty. Nuts. My luck is the same as ever. All bad. Blast! You made me blow my cover! Can't let a few dumb boners upset me. Oh, man. Comics out of context. Hold on, I gotta screen cap this. Oh, my goodness. That is awesome. Let's see. You guys can't see what I'm doing. I'm just capturing the screen. That should work. All right, moving along. Gwen's birthday is coming up, and I have to. Uh-oh. My spider sense is tingling. Look alive here, web slinger. It's one of the schemer's hoods from yesterday's fight. Editor's note. We saw them slugging it out last-ish, remember? Says Stan. At last, things are breaking my way. Okay, Buttercup. Rise and shine. I want to talk to you. Huh? Who's that? Who's that? Spider-Man! I'll blast you out of... Hey! No! Don't! Let go! Let go! Sure, I'll let you go. As soon as you tell me where I find the schemer. I don't know. I don't know. He's leveling. He's too scared not to. He changes hideouts every day. He calls us. We never contact him. So I'm still nowhere. Well, it's the story of my life. Hey, you can't leave me like this. Want to bet? I've been swinging around for hours now and still nothing. No one's dumb enough to be out on a night like this. Except me. And I'm chilled to the bone. This costume cavorter bit is for the birds in the middle of winter. I better knock it off for a while. I'd make a funky looking Spider-Man swinging around with frostbite. I wonder if it's still early enough to drop in on Gwendy. Last time I saw her, she was angry because I didn't come to visit her at the hospital. And I couldn't tell her it was because I was kind of busy, fighting the schemer in my cute little Spidey suit. If only I could tell her my secret, it would make things so much easier. But how can I be sure? How would she take it? What if my confession made me lose her? couldn't bear it. Peter, what brings you out at this hour? It must be later than I thought. I just couldn't sleep, Captain Stacy. I had to see how Gwen was feeling. Oh, looks like you couldn't sleep either, honey. I had a lot of thinking to do, Peter. Sounds like she still hasn't quite forgiven me. I was trying to make my mind up about us. There's so much about you, Peter. So much I don't understand. So many things that you're so secretive about. This is the moment I've been dreading. But there's one thing you never need to have any... But there's one thing you never need to have any doubts about, Gwen. And that's the way that I feel about you. It would seem I picked an awkward moment to bring in some cocoa. Oh man, you couldn't have picked a better time. Gwen is probing so much, getting too close. I've been wanting to ask you about the accident. When that car sideswiped the truck and it fell over us, you weren't even scratched. Editor's note, as seen last issue also, Stan. But wasn't that because the parking meter acted as a wedge when it snapped off? Yes, Dad, but I've been wondering. Have to get myself out of this somehow. Peter, what's wrong? Gosh, I'm sorry. All of a sudden I've got the shakes. Must have caught a chill out in the snow. I'd better get home and into bed. I thought you didn't seem to be yourself. Oh, Gwendy, you don't know the half of it. Meanwhile, the mound of snow covering my car makes as good a hideaway as I could want, but I can't remain inactive here forever. Especially with so much to be done. All citizens are urged to be on the lookout for the schemer. If sighted, notify your nearest police precinct. He is armed and presumed dangerous. Here, inside my specially built car, I'm far more dangerous than they suspect. Dangerous especially to the Kingpin. I've waited long enough. It's time for the showdown with my archenemy. First, I'll deactivate the heating ducts at the edges of my car. There, in a matter of seconds, the snow is melted, and while other cars still remain stalled, the schemer is free to execute his plan. But even before I attack the Kingpin, I'll give him a little something to worry about. Put the cards away, gentlemen. The game is over, and you're all losers. Huh? Who's that? Over there. It's the schemer. Get him. It's nice to be wanted, boys, but it is I who will do the getting. Thuck. Sping. Come on, rush him. He can't get us all. We gotta stop him or answer to the Kingpin. Hey now, what's he trying to do? Just giving you a lesson in simple strategy. Thuck. Yeah? Well, now it's our turn, smart guy. Yeah! You called me smart guy. And you are right. I am smart enough to know what nerve to squeeze. Now you will relay a message to your boss, the Kingpin. You'll tell him he is next on the schemers list. His reign of crime is at an end, and the schemers has begun. He's Off to tackle the Kingpin, just like he said. He must be out of his skull. But if anyone can do it, I'm betting the schemer's the man. Later, in a sumptuous mansion. My only son, lost forever. Going to his death, hating me for what I am. If only I had been given just one chance to explain that I did it just for him. But now it's too late for anything except undying rage. What are you doing here? How dare you break in on the Kingpin? We had to come, boss. We had to tell you. It's the schemer. He said he's out to get you. He wasn't kidding, boss. He meant it. Get out. Out! Before I snap you in two with my bare hands. Boom! Just as I'll do to the schemer if he ever dares to face me. Vanessa, how long have you been standing there? I thought you had ended the violent portion of your life. I thought we had agreed to bury the past. It isn't possible. I have too many enemies, too many threats. To you and me, that must be crushed. There is a new upstart who calls himself the Schemer, who has dared to challenge me. He has dared to challenge the power of the Kingpin. But what does it matter? What does anything matter after what has happened to our Richard? But one thing that may matter is the progress of Spider-Man. Even hunting the schemer is better than facing Gwen's questions. Better keep moving and fast. It's the best way to stay warm up here. All I want is a lead. Just one simple little clue. One lucky break. Here's one of the Kingpin's old warehouses. I hear voices. Some of his men must be talking inside. While I'm here, I might as well listen. If the schemer wasn't just flapping his gums, he should have reached the boss by now. Yeah, but what chance can he have against the Kingpin? You never can tell. He must have something up his sleeve. I hear that his car is all rigged up with special weapons and stuff. Yeah, they say you can spot it a mile away. Special car, eh? Very interesting. At least I have something to look for now. Oh no, I can't be that lucky. But I must be. My spider sense is tingling like mad. Okay, Spidey, this is what you've been waiting for. So move it, man. It must be the schemer. The car has one-way windows. You can see out, but you can't see in. Spider-Man on the roof. I don't know how he got there, but I can't let him delay me now. One sudden burst of speed will be enough to hurl him off. Perhaps I shouldn't waste a golden opportunity like this. He's heading back for me. You've interfered with me once too often, web slinger. A battering ram coming out of the car's grillwork. Looks like the schemer leaves nothing to chance. As if you'd need a battering ram if you hit someone with a car. Like the car, getting hit with a car, it's no big deal. Only if it has a battering ram do you have to worry. Silly. Leaves nothing to chance, but neither does Spidey. Now, if I can just hang on.
He's on my roof again. But this time, I'm through playing games.
He's heading straight for the river. Too wet, too slippery. Can't hold on.
I did it. I lost him. Now, I need delay no longer. And so, all that remains is the Kingpin.
He shook me okay. But it won't be hard to follow his trail in the snow. And that's just what I'm going to do. Minutes later,
I've reached my goal at last. Now, my ultrasonic circuit breaker will get me inside with ease. It can instantly neutralize any electrical alarm system within a 3-block radius.
That's pretty handy.
And there he sits, in all his obtuse, obese unawareness.
Time out. Obese. Not muscular, physically fit. Obese. Sorry. I keep pounding on that. Moving along.
The man who will soon be king of crime no more. Who's there? Who's that at the window? Surely you have been expecting me. For the schemer never threatens in vain. I never thought you'd be fool enough to invade my own home. Didn't they warn you? Don't you realize the extent of my power? Footsteps behind me. If this is a trick, it is no trick.
Stop, while there is still time. You know your strength. What if you kill him? I've already lost a son. Must I now see my husband transformed into a murderer?
Vanessa, you must leave us.
Run. Get away from here while you still can. If you don't, you...
What is it? Why do you look at me that way? Vanessa, what's wrong? What do you see in his eyes? What is it? What's happened to you? Vanessa, say something.
I can't. I can't. At that moment, so this is the trail of the So this is the end of the trail. That means the payoff is near at hand. I'll set up my camera where it'll do the most good. And then...
Spider-Man again.
The Kingpin. I might have guessed. You are at his house. Oh my God, Kingpin, you're at home. Sorry. Looks like I'll win myself a double header this time.
It's a double header, all right. But you won't win it.
I forgot how fast he can move. The raw power of his blow. If I hadn't fended it off with my forearm, it might have been bye-bye Spidey.
The schemer can wait, but you've had it coming for years.
I'm in no hurry, Tubbs. If the schemer comes first...
You'll never mock me again. Boom!
Don't count on it, Butterball. This time, I was ready for you. Which is more than you are right now.
I have never hated anyone the way I hate you.
He's grabbing the carpet, loosening it with his bare hands. Oh no! He yanked it, like you'd yank a cloth right off a table. Everything's tumbling. Can't keep my balance. Then, before the falling youth can make another move,
I've got you. At last. And this time there'll be no escape.
Know something? You make a lousy profit. With that $5,000 reward for the schemer, nothing's beating me now. Rip. But where is he? There's no sign of him. He's gone. The schemer got away. At that very moment, the kingpin also suddenly realizes.
Vanessa, she isn't here. She and the schemer, both are gone. What if that was his plan? What if he's taken her?
The kingpin's on his feet again. What does it take to keep him down?
I'll settle with you some other time. I've got something more urgent to attend to now.
Click.
Wherever the schemer took my wife, there's no place on earth where I can't find them. And when I do,
he's gone. As far as the schemer and the reward for him are concerned, I'm no better off than I was before. Except I managed to get some lumps that I didn't need from the kingpin. I wasted a whole evening, risked my fool life, and I'm nowhere. No money, no glory, no nothing. I always like stories where everything's tied up nice and neat. Everything's tied up nice and neat by the final page. If only it could happen that way in real life. Next, everything does tie up nice and neat, including the schemer's secret. All right. Whew. Reading these books is a craziness to my voice. And that's what the beer's for. Zach says, hang on. So you don't buy it when it's Yoda, but you liked Last Jedi that did the same thing to Luke. But it didn't do the same thing to Luke. That was why people bitched about Last Jedi. Because Luke didn't run out and go fight and whip everyone's ass. Luke actually did what Yoda should do. Like, Luke never left his little temple. He stayed there the whole time, and he taught Kylo a lesson. I thought that's how a master acts, in my opinion. Luke was so far beyond at that point, he was the new master, and that's what I did like about Last Jedi. And Luke reminded me kind of the Yoda of Empire, although maybe not quite as wise, but Yoda used the lightsaber because he wanted to. Quit judging him. He does what he wants. It's his life. Yes, Ash is a contradiction, Zach. That guy didn't look like a thug, says Maranya. Let's see. Gwen was probing Peter. Lol. Miles can clone Gwen. Miles can clone Gwen, but he can never clone her soul. All her clones are soulless imitations. I don't know about that. Is Ben Reilly's soulless? Let's see. My son Jake's biological dad never loved him, and he's a deadbeat piece of crap. My late ex-husband Mark is a better dad to Jake. Let's see. Melissa says you have to be 300 pounds to be Kingpin. Oh, I don't know. I think Kingpin's like 500 pounds easy. This dude's a monster. Let's see. Zach Benjamin says his below Kingpin is Scarface. What? Melissa says they list Wilson Fisk as atheist on Marvel Wiki. I don't see Kingpin being atheist. A lot of mobsters are religious, like Al Capone. No. A lot of mobsters follow the church, specifically the Catholic Church, because the Catholic Church is kind of a racket, like the mafia. So, yeah. I wonder if the schemer is the dead son, or maybe her father. Dragon Ball Talk says Beetle sold smack in old Spider-Man comics. Ryan says, if I recall right, Richard Fisk became the Rose later on with a mask. Oh, I don't know about that. Computer Robots is in the house. What's up, computer? He says, hi, everyone. And Ash, stop thinking about farts. What? Now I can't stop thinking about farts. Thanks. Thanks a lot, man. Dominic says, you're correct, Manya. So there you go. All your comments, all caught up. I can catch up quick. You guys don't type much when I'm reading comics. That's how I know the comic's pretty good. When you're not typing. When it's a shitty comic, you guys type all sorts of crap. All right. Let's see. The story is so good, says RDV. Melissa says, Al Capone is religious. He had his body blessed by a priest before he died. I think mobsters are religious. It's kind of hard to believe in Christ and believe that he is who he says he is, and then you go around and you kill people. I don't buy it, Melissa. Sorry. If you love Jesus, you aren't out there being a mass murderer. I don't care what church services you go to. So a lot of evil people go to church. Let's just put it that way. And I'm not even really too convinced that the Catholic Church are very good. I think the Pope himself is a little messed up. Of course, we're all messed up. We're all human, so yeah, I don't buy it. There's a difference between a churchgoer and a believer, like a true, like devoted. If you follow the Bible, it absolutely does not work with being a gangster. Man, I got the beer belches, but since I'm trying to do a professional operation here, I can't just belch over the mic. Mobsters went to feel-good churches that believed all you had to do was confess your sins and say a few Hail Marys. I think mobsters were keeping up appearances because they had a public life. And so by going to church, being in the community, and the community sees you going to church, it helped people see you as a good man, right? So that's what I think. God forgives anyone, but it's up to them, and God, Jesus, gives the theft on the cross. See, going to church makes you a Christian, like being in a garage makes you a car. Good analogy there, Zach. I like that one. Like being on YouTube makes you a YouTuber. Oh, zing! I think RDV was trying to hurt my feelings. Mission accomplished. Sorry, I have a little headset difficulty. Looks like it's fixed now. Zach says RDV wins Burn of the Night. Ding, ding, ding. We have a champion. All right. Speaking of that, don't let it get to RDV's head. He's gonna start doing that all night, and it's just he's gonna be incorrigible. All right. Now we're moving on to Amazing Spider-Man number 85. Still only 15 cents. Revealed at last, the schemer's secret. Nothing can save you now. What is the schemer's secret? Possibly the greatest comics magazine surprise of the year. Oh, that's a big claim. Better read this and find out what's going on. RDV says, "What do I win? More torture?" Lord says, "Do more torture, torment Ash." Yes, let's torment RDV. He deserves it. Wait, no, he doesn't deserve it. He's the sponsor of this program. So if you guys are feeling tortured, RDV is the sponsor of your predicament. Last issue, we saw the mysterious schemer face to face with the Kingpin and with the Kingpin's wife. "You!
Why do you look at me like that?"
Then Spider-Man broke in, and the action really began.
"I've got you at last."
But suddenly, realizing that the schemer had escaped and that his own wife was gone, the Kingpin went mad.
"There's no place on Earth where I can't find them."
"He's gone. I'm no better off than I was before."
And now, The Secret of the Schemer,
by Stan Lee and John Romita, John Buscema, Madman Mooney, and even Sam Rosen gets a lettering credit. Yay, when lettering actually mattered. Sorry, back to the comic.
"It's Spider-Man's fault. My hatred for him made me forget the schemer. But if he harms one hair on Vanessa's head..."
"Wait, there is no need for rage. Your wife is safe, my dear."
"Vanessa, but I thought he had taken you with him."
"It was not so, my love. Finding the scene distasteful, I merely hid within the shadows."
"I should have guessed. No one would dare to threaten the Kingpin's wife, and least of all, that scrawny schemer."
"Least of all, the schemer." And speaking of the mysterious schemer who frantically speeds through the snow-covered streets,
"It was the sight of her that stopped me from carrying out my plan. The way she looked at me, as if she knew. When I saw the sadness in her eyes, and I remembered the past, I had to escape before the Kingpin could suspect. As long as she was there, I couldn't risk. That truck rounding the corner, I didn't see it coming. Screek, fa-tong. Missed it by a matter of inches. Another few seconds would have been too late. Damage isn't too serious. It can be repaired. Don't dare work on it now. Can't risk discovery. But if I can get new parts from a supply warehouse..."
Meanwhile, in another part of the snowbound city, a brooding youth finds it difficult to concentrate on his studies. "Gwenny's birthday is almost here, and I'm as broke as ever. If only I'd been able to nab the schemer and claim that reward." Ring! The doorbell. Visitors. That's all I need. "Captain Stacy, Gwen, I didn't expect." "We were just passing by, son. I hope we're not intruding." "Dad has something to ask you, Peter." "Oh, you make it sound too dramatic, my dear." "It's about Spider-Man. It must be. How much does he suspect?" "I've always wondered how you managed to be so successful as a news photographer." Oh, I guess I've just been kind of lucky. I feel it's more than luck. No one but you has ever managed to get such candid photos of Spider-Man in action. You've always seemed to be in the right place at the right time. Can you honestly say that it's just a coincidence? I knew it. He's too sharp. Getting too close. I need time to think. Holy smoke. I just remembered. I've got some pics developing in the darkroom. Oh, don't let us spoil the prince. We'll wait, my boy. Just so long as they're not shots of any other chicks. Phew. That was too close. Okay. So I gained a little time. But now what do? I have to think of something drastic to throw him off the trail once and for all. And since it was Spider-Man who got me into this jam, let's see if the web slinger himself can get me out. It's a real long shot, but it'll be worth it if it works. It's a good thing my voice sounds muffled and different through my mask. Dad, I still think you're way off base about Peter. I've known him for... Oh! What's that, honey? What did you say? There's someone at the window. Spider-Man! Stay where you are, mister. This isn't a social call. Parker's the one I want. Then I was right. There is some connection between you and Parker. Perfect. They'll still think Peter and Spidey are two different people. Dad, he seems so angry, as though he wants to hurt Pete. As though he has some sort of grudge against him. I've more than a grudge against him. I made a deal with him. He takes the pictures, we split the dough, but he still owes me plenty. He'll pay you. Peter Parker would never welch on a debt. Anyway, he isn't here. He left hours ago. You wouldn't lie to me, lady. You did it, Gwen. He's leaving. And we better go too, so he doesn't doubt us. What you did took courage, dear. If Spider-Man hadn't believed you. But he did. That's all that matters. He's watching us from that building above. We dare not return to Parker. Poor Peter. No wonder he seems so nervous, so fearful. I had to make sure that they saw me so they won't return. Well, it worked. Might as well go after the schemer again. Anything's better than sitting around feeling sorry for myself. Besides, I can't let that reward slip away. But what of the Kingpin? Ah, we were hoping you'd ask.
It doesn't seem possible. How did the Bugle manage to get these photos of my battle with the schemer and Spider-Man? If there was a photographer on the scene, I'd have known it. Every time that accursed Spider-Man is involved in anything, the Bugle Prince is... Wait, what is this? So that's why the schemer ran off without you. That's why he got away so easily, while you claimed to be hiding in the shadows. I should have known. My suspicions were right. There is something between the two of you.
You must be mad. How can you say a thing like that?
Look. See here for yourself. It's all here, right in this picture. I said look at it. It was you. You were the one who let him out. Through the secret sliding panel. All these years I've loved you, trusted you, given you everything, everything. And now you betray me. Why? I must know. I must know. I must have an answer. Why? Why?
Do not ask me. I cannot explain.
You mean you will not? Your silence is proof of your guilt.
No, I love you. I have not betrayed you. You must trust me. You must.
You are asking too much.
But, since we hate to intrude on private domestic squabbles, let's change our scene once again. Down below, it's almost too good to be true. The schemer's car. It's been in a crack-up. He's nowhere to be found, but maybe I can find some clue inside. I wonder what this doohickey is. And why is my spider sense starting to tingle? A split second later, our hero learns the answer. A booby trap, and I fell for it. Spoom. Not potent enough to knock me out, but for anyone without my spider strength, the story would be lots different. Footprints on the snow ahead of me. They could be anybody's, but chances are they belong to the schemer. They seem kind of shaky. Perhaps he was hurt in the crash. Well, if he was, it doesn't show. Looks like he's working on some parts to repair his car. I hate to interrupt, but...
Spider-Man!
Say it again. It's music to my ears. Another gun? What do? Buy the carload?
Stay back. I'm warning you. Stay back.
People are always warning me. 'Tis nice to know they care. Now shoot to your heart's content. Fathoom! But if you do, my webbing will make your pop gun backfire. Or have you already noticed? I thought his special cloak and gloves would shield him, but I didn't think it'd be this easy.
Wrong again, you arrogant bumbler.
A sword like rod, sewn right into the cloak's lining. I'll bet you've got the trickiest tailor in town.
Would you believe a tailor tricky enough to line my cape with a stun nozzle?
Boom. And would you believe a Spidey fast enough to dodge it?
Do you think that was my only weapon?
Oomph! I don't know. I wasn't counting. But just in case it wasn't, what's he reaching for now?
You're fast, Spider-Man.
Huh?
But not fast enough for this. The bow.
A smoke grenade. The one thing that never fails to dull my spider senses. Not only can I see him now, I can't even sense him. And since Spidey has enough to worry about, perhaps it's just as well that he isn't aware of this. Gwen, I still say we shouldn't have returned so soon. But why didn't Peter answer when we phoned him? He may be in trouble. He may need us. What if Spider-Man came back after we left? I still can't believe he's as dangerous as they say. Peter, are you there? The apartment seems to be deserted, but there's no sign of struggle. A struggle? Then you also thought, oh, Dad, how could poor Peter or any normal person put up a struggle against Spider-Man? What chance would he have? Easy, dear, easy. Peter might be his prisoner now. He might have taken him anywhere. I'll call the precinct. Perhaps they can check it out. Of course, there is another possibility. Even if Peter did leave with Spider-Man, how do we know he didn't go willingly? But while Captain Stacy mulls that over, I've got to clear the smoke, and fast. So I'll spin myself a web bolo. Now, if I can just spin it hard enough, the sudden draft should blow the smoke away. There, it's working. The vapors are beginning to thin out. And just in the nick of time. Hold it, mister. Class is still in session. Well, if I have to keep you from playing hooky the hard way, whoop. Oh no, I didn't mean for him to fall through the window. I have to catch him before he hits the ground. If I don't, I'm no better than a murderer. Moving faster, more desperately than ever before, the frantic youth hurls himself into space, and then made it. Now, I'll claim the reward before anything else goes wrong. Is this the address on the reward poster?
Wait. You can't take me there.
Want to bet? We've been waiting for you. Take him inside. Waiting? But how did they know?
You fool. You don't know what you're doing.
Keep him here till the chief comes home. What kind of precinct is this? Why the high floor? The apartment type furnishings? What's the matter? You want us to redecorate it for you? He was dressed like a cop, looked like a cop, but something's wrong. I can feel it. Where could I have slipped up? What have I gotten myself into? Steel panels sliding down, covering the doors and windows. Surprised, gentlemen? You really shouldn't be.
That voice. You should have known. You should have suspected.
After all, who would be more anxious to pay a reward for the schemer than the kingpin? And now that you have delivered him, that you have stupidly delivered him, you shall receive your reward. But it will be somewhat different than you may have expected. Those police, they were your men in phony uniforms. There's no need to explain it to me, you witless fool. Click. I'm well aware of every brilliant facet of my little plan. Just as I am aware that you will never escape me again. A steel cabling net dropping from the ceiling. The cables are magnetized, automatically closing, getting tighter.
Now that he can no longer interfere, the two of us will settle our accounts. Talk! Tell me what I want to know before I silence you forever. Why did you challenge my leadership of the underworld? And even more important, what is there between you and my wife? Talk, I say, before I... All right. I'll tell you. You have to find out, sooner or later. It all begins at a school in Switzerland, high atop the Alps. There was a young man, a very special young man. He was happy, carefree, without a worry in the world. He studied hard because he wanted to make something of himself, to make his parents proud of him. He developed his mind, his body, hoping that someday he could be the man his father was. He never tired of talking about his father, of telling how successful, how respected, how honorable he was. No boy had ever loved a father more than he. But then, one day, his idol crumbled. His world collapsed. Newspaper headline reads, Kingpin, Crime Czar. No, it can't be. It just can't. Everyone in school is talking about it. That's a picture of your father. Kingpin of crime, eh? Quite a legacy if he's left you. Hours later, despondent, dazed, and sick at heart, he rode a ski lift by himself and was never seen again. It's hopeless. We've been searching for days. Even if we were to find him now in the freezing cold without any food, it would be too late. And so the world believed that he had perished in the Alps, which was the way he had planned it. For Richard had to die in order for the schemer to live. Thanks to the money which had always been given to him, he could do what he wished, buy what he needed, and hire those who would one day attack the Kingpin, who would be able to help him dethrone the abominable master of crime.
You dog! You're not fit to mention my son's name. How did you learn of this? How did you learn about Richards? Answer me while you can.
Are you so blind, so obsessed with your own mad hatred that you still don't know? Can't you see? Haven't you guessed? All those years while Richard lived on the money you made from crime. Those years had to be paid for. There had to be an accounting. And what could be more fitting? What could be more just than that I, your own son, be the one to end the Kingpin's career?
You're not dead. You're alive. 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 But you're more lost to me than ever before. I see it in your eyes, hear it in your voice, know it by your deeds. You hate me. Hate me. Hate me.
No. May heaven forgive me. I love you, even while I wish with every fiber of my being that you were not my father. Richard, you're alive. I knew it. My heart told me it was you. But your father, what have you done to him?
I don't know.
He seems to be in a state of shock. His eyes are open, but he stares ahead, without seeing, without moving. It's as though his entire body has become an empty shell. I thought I wanted him to pay for my own hurt and disillusionment, but not like this. Not like this. If ever I'm to break free, it has to be now. Now! I'll need every ounce of spider strength if I possess. But if I flex hard enough and can bear the pain, I'll... There! I did it! They snapped! At first I thought it might be an act, a ruse of some sort. But the Kingpin would never sit still while Spider-Man escaped. He's in a state of shock. And even if he could come out of it, what will be left of him? What punishment can anyone mete out which can compare to what they've all been through? Maybe our paths will cross again. Maybe they won't. Somehow, it doesn't seem to matter anymore. Next, Beware the Black Widow. Oh, there we go. That looks cool. All right. There we go. Where were we? Ronnie says the schemer's secret is that he goes to the same hairdresser as Rogue back in the day. Ed Brewer says, schemer looks like a Jack Kirby to me. Let me guess. The schemer is Kingpin's son. You didn't see that coming a mile away, did you? Vanessa reminds me of the Bride of Frankenstein. That says Zach. Computer Robots asks everyone, what did you guys do with your One More Day Spider-Man books after reading them? Did you guys keep them? I never got one, so I don't have it. Zach says he never bought one in the first place. Ronnie says she never had one. She also says she hates Spider-Man and all Spider-Man fans are stupid. No, she didn't say that. But she doesn't like Spider-Man. Or at least not as much as other characters. RDV says, I think I threw mine in the trash. If only Peter could work as well as he complains. Let's see. Dragon Magic says, sadly, I have many One More Day and late Spider-Man comics, but nothing after 600. You have many One More Day comics? Are you saying, do I buy like multiple copies? Variant covers? That's what I feel bad for, the people that bought like tons of copies, variants. Melissa says, Spider-Man is a menace. No, Dennis is the menace. Ba-dum-bum. Let's see. Computer Robot says, so all you Mary Jane fans there, although I love her and Peter together and bring back the marriage, Gwen was his endgame in my opinion. Had she not died, would have ended up marrying instead of MJ. Maybe. Although she was about to write him off just because he wasn't there at the hospital after the accident. So I think Gwen is a little fickle. You know, she's a hot blonde girl. You don't want to marry something like that. Anyways, I'm gonna get myself in trouble talking that way. How did the schemer not hear the explosion of his car blowing up? Well, he was far away. Was he? I don't know. Let's see. Hey, Ash. I think you should read some Harley Quinn trade paperbacks, like the first volumes back in the early 2000s, says Computer Robots. How about no? I don't like Harley Quinn. Lord says, I don't like Spider-Man. Jeez. What are you doing here? How do you even like comics? You don't like Spider-Man? That's ridiculous. The Kingpin's son goes through some more changes from this issue on. Says RDV. Dragon says, not multiple variants in One More Day. No, just many issues that came before I bailed. Oh, okay. So, but you only got one edition, like the actual One More Day comic. RDV says, only if Melissa could appreciate fine Spider-Man comics like the current issues of Nick Spencer's Spider-Man run. Spider-Man fans are like X-Men fans. They're willing to put up with not good stuff just to read the books they love. Apparently Lord spoiled something, but he retracted it before I saw it. Please, guys, don't put any spoilers on things. Occasionally I'll spoil stuff, but I'll do like a dedicated video to that. But here in a chat, we're talking about a million things. People aren't aware of what you may or may not be spoiling. It's just not fair to them. Lord says, I'm with Skip, not being a big fan of Spider-Man. Oh, the haters are coming alive at night. Melissa says, I love the classic Spider-Man. That's because you've got good taste, Melissa. Let's see. Computer Robot says, Lord, I seriously love it how you're so brutally blunt about it, that you're not interested in Spider-Man, and that people is what makes Lord so awesome. Oh, and that people is what makes Lord so awesome. Wait a minute. Did you just say Lord was awesome? That's kind of a stretch. Wait a second. I'm brutal. I guess it only applies to Lord. He was going to spoil the next issue of Classic Spidey. Oh, you wouldn't dare. You villainous person. I have nothing witty to say. All right, well, folks, it is now after midnight, which means we have passed the threshold. Ash will always be a hater. I'm not a hater. I'm a lover. Look at me. I'm reading you guys good Spider-Man comics from the Silver Age. I'm not a hater. Why would you call me that? I'm trying to bring you guys good stuff. Bringing you guys the indie comic show with Skip and Tosh, celebrating the love of good indie comics. Now we're doing the Brubaker show called Criminal Cast, celebrating the love of all things Brubaker. I don't know why I'm a hater. But I guess perception is everything. I gotta work off that reputation. I guess everyone's now saying goodbye, and a bunch of Jesus, like a fucking frolicking going on in here. Ed, good to see you, man. You weren't too talkative, but that's okay. I'm glad you're still hanging around. Thanks to everyone else also giving me still a chance, putting up with my nonsense. I'm really tired. I kind of hit a wall. I think it's maybe that beer. Or maybe it's I didn't get as much sleep last night. I hope you enjoyed these comics. I have a pretty strong sense of what I'm going to do next after Spider-Man. It's going to be something a little bit more modern. I want to thank Dr. Venkman once again for his generous donation of this book that I get to share with you guys. Computer Robots asks if we're going to be on Discord tonight. I might go for a little bit. I'm actually on it right now. No one joined me tonight. No one. It's two streams in a row that I've opened up the Discord to come for certain people to come on and join, and they don't. So poor Ash just has to do this all by himself. Anyways, no, I'll be in the general room. In fact, boom. Oops, I'm in the general room right now. So thank you all for being here. I hope you guys are reading good comics, enjoying good comics. Stay tuned. We'll have new story episodes next week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Not this Monday, but a week from Monday is the next episode of the Unnamed Indie Comic Show. It will be featuring the new issue of Firepower, which is out. I highly recommend, if you guys haven't been following that show, check it out. The two main comics we feature are Firepower and Decorum. You don't have to necessarily be into both of them, although I think that they're good and worthy to talk about. Firepower is an excellent book to collect. I was just thinking about that book the other day. And actually, it was Wednesday when I picked it up. I was looking at the cover, and something struck me. Firepower reminds me of what I used to like about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. There was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles used to just sort of just have this fun family feel. You had the 4 turtles, which were like brothers. But you had Casey Jones and April. You had Master Splinter to some extent. And they were always like on the run. In the early days of the comics, they were on the run. The Foot Clan was chasing them. Shredder was after them because Shredder gets resurrected. Spoiler alert. And so they were on the run. And it was kind of like this. And in Firepower, you got these ninja assassins kind of chasing down the main character and his family. But also just the tone of it. That sort of that fun martial arts style action. Anyways, if you're a person that liked Turtles back in the day, this is a book for you, I think. It's obviously not Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but it just has some of that same style and some of the fun and better writing, if I might say so. So that's that. See, Zach, are you going to join Discord? Blah, blah, blah. RDV says, I will only join if Computer Robot jumps on mic. Well, you'll only join if I don't fucking kick you off my Discord server. How about that? Lord says, I'm in general voice chat and there's no one. I'm in... What are you talking about? Oh, yeah, I went to the wrong one. Wait. How did general get way down there? It's in the wrong place. There we go. I did it right. Let's see. Ed Brewer says, Ash, no spoilers. Also Ash. Oops, spoilers. I'm spoiling a commonly known thing from a comic 30 years old. This wasn't really a spoiler. RDV says, kick me, I need the sleep. Let's see. And Computer Robot says, Jimmy, aren't you going to join the Discord as well since you're always up for it most of the time? So Jimmy shows up at the close of the show to wrap it all up. That's all we got, folks. Thank you for joining me. I feel like I just want to say more stuff, but I got nothing more to say. So I will see you hopefully Tuesday. Thanks for joining. See you next time. Same Ash time, same Ash channel.